You know him as the host of New Life Live, the #1 Christian call-in counseling program. He is also a best-selling author and founder of New Life Ministries. Steve Arterburn is back with us. Hey, Steve.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're good.
Steve, excited. So you got two new little books. I don't know how little they are, but they're covering huge topics. One is called Understanding and Loving Your Child with ADHD, and another one's called Understanding and Loving Your Child Who Smokes Pot, and that doesn't have to be the same child, right?
It doesn't, and actually usually probably
Isn't.
But, we did a series, Understanding and Loving, and it was all about the adult that might be a bit of a challenge in your life, such as borderline personality disorder or bipolar. And then everybody was saying, well, why don't you help us with these tough issues with kids? And so this is the first of the series. These two are the first. And while I did smoke some pot, I have to admit, when I was in college, very little, because it was such a horrible experience for me, I really have no experience with pot that is being distributed today. It's just such a different product. But I did have ADHD, and I have a lot to say about it. I still have it. It's still being treated, and it's one of the greatest gifts of my entire life is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. I mean, really, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I've done if I hadn't had that. I would have been a different person altogether. So when people say, oh, they just hate it that they have it, I tell them, hey, listen, there's an upside here, a big upside to it.
Now, Steve, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I would count myself in that same boat. I think the difference is maybe, our generation were not the people who were labeling it, and whatever it was, we just knew what it was. We were hyperactive kids, and we had a lot of energy and creativity, and just kind of folded it into our personality and made it work.
Right. And, I was an adult. I was in my 40s before I had heard about this ADHD thing, but I never really studied it. I didn't think it had anything to do with me. And then in my 40s, I'm watching this television show, and these people are me. They're describing me. And I said, so I discovered late in life that there was a way to make it more manageable, easier. But I got to tell you, people say, oh, we don't want to label our children or anything. Yes, you do. Because when you're a child and you discover, hey, this has a name and there's a treatment for it, I'm not weird. This isn't some strange thing that's come upon me. That label, quote unquote label, the diagnosis, in my case, and I think in a lot of other cases, it's really a gift to know that somebody understands this, and I'm not just some weirdo that has something that nobody else has.
Right. And I get that, Steve. My problem with it is I believe the over prescriptive of Ritalin and other drugs like that. You've got a generation of kids who are now growing up, at the pharmaceutical counter.
Well, you don't want to over-medicate anything. And now I take medication, but that's not all that I do. That'd be a horrible mistake. I don't want any parent to, just because a lot of kids have been misdiagnosed or professionals have overprescribed, I don't want them to eliminate medication thinking, oh, it's all bad. It isn't all bad. What's all bad is if it's wrongly prescribed or in the wrong dose, or that's all that you do. I have to watch what I eat, the way I exercise, all sorts of things that I have to do differently, that if somebody had taught me this, it would have been much easier. When I was very young, teacher after teacher said to me, Steve, your brain is working faster than your pencil or your ballpoint, and you have to slow down. I would just leave out sections of sentences. It was a common thing, and they thought I was careless or whatever. I didn't even see it. And with ADHD, I wasn't really big on going back and proofreading what I had done. I just get it done, turn it in. That was my thing.
Right. We're talking with Steve Arterburn. He's the host of New Life Ministries, New Life Live.